Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news that's tied to our favorite team in the NFL, that is the Cleveland Browns, and then we give you our take on the news along the way. Thank you to everybody who has liked our previous episodes, to everybody who gets their comments down there in the viewer comment section, and there's one other thing that what do I always say? Oh, that's right. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. You can see the fit change. We have passed 11,000, and I cannot thank you enough. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I just happened to look at the numbers and I saw it. And I can't thank you enough. And that's why coming up on today's show, I mean, it is a Meltdown Monday. Don't get me wrong. We're going to melt down. But it feels more like a victory Monday because not only did we surpass 11,000 subscribers, but we have found our franchise quarterback. Now, despite that horrible loss yesterday, there's something all Browns fans can be very proud of today. One of the storylines heading into the Bears game on Sunday is a lot like one of the storylines that we followed heading into the Titans game. And then down in the viewer comments, you guys showed up and showed out in support of Shedeur. Man, it was something. It was something to see. But first, let's do the bad news first. You always want good. You want the good news or the bad news? Well, we're going to do the bad news first. And it is a Meltdown Monday. And I've never seen a bigger call for the firing of Kevin Stefanski as I have seen here since that game ended Sunday afternoon. It's just brutal. And it's not just the play calls. It's not just the 2-point conversions. It's just the lack of coaching IQ, that gridiron IQ that I bring up every once in a while. And it just, the whole thing, and this is my biggest thing with Kevin Stefanski, is there is he doesn't feel the game. As a coach, you have to feel the game. And he is just so regimented in, this is what we practice, this is what we do, and this is what we're going to do. And you see it. Like, that's why we have success a lot of times on the first drive, because those plays are scripted, and they practiced them all week long. And it's not, and he exposed himself, and some of the players too, when asked about the crazy 2-point conversions that they try to run. And they said, well, that we talked about, we came in on Monday and we talked about it, and we know it works. And so, we think we're going to do it, and we just practice it all week, and then we just do it. But there's a difference between working on a play and having it, kind of having that bullet in your gun and using it, because you have to feel out the game. And the way that game was going, and the way this day, when Shedeur got us to within 8, you kick the extra point. You have to step back and say, look, I'm going to play for the tie first. Let's see how it goes. And then if we get the ball back and we go right down the field on them again, and we've really got them on their heels, then maybe I'll consider going for 2 and the win instead of kicking the extra point and going for the tie. Because in a lot of respects, people would go, all right, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's a lost season. If you got to win, or you're going to be knocked out of the playoffs, and like it's a do or die situation. It's a desperate situation. I think people could lean into that a little more. But going for the 2-point conversion when we could have cut it to 7 points, like even Shannon Sharp on the nightcap pile. Like when I see guys like that, like Hall of Fame football players going, "What are you doing?" Like, that tells you everything you need to know. You got to be able to read the room as a coach. And this is Kevin Stefanski. He can't do it. And, it's like going with the hot hand, right? When you always hear coaches say, we'll go with the hot hand, the running backs. Like, we'll just, you got to feel it out during the game and see who has the hot hand, It's a lot like knowing when to pull a pitcher in baseball, right? even though, let's say, it's a playoff game and, you got your ace going and, it's the score is still like you're winning 1-0, but you're into the fifth inning and your guy has thrown a lot of pitches, even though they haven't scored, and he's, kind of struggled a little bit. And it's, you can tell he's not at the top of his game. And then he walks the first batter of the sixth inning. Get him out of there. Like, you have to sense those things as a coach. And I'll tell you, Terry Francona was terrible at that. He would leave a guy in for too long all the time, whether it was an extra inning or even an extra batter, and would blow the whole game hole wide open, and it would make me insane because his in-game decisions were terrible when he was coaching the Guardians. But Vogt, why do you think he's manager of the year 2 years in a row? He knows when to go out and get a guy. Same thing with this. As a football coach, you have to read the room. You have to feel what's going on. Like, this is a team that needed, they built some confidence. They were rolling. You could have gotten this win. You kick the extra point. You stay in it. But he doesn't. He just regimented. They worked on that play. That's what they're going to do. They're just going to run it. Doesn't read the room. And then you're going to tell me to win, to try and get the tie when you're down 2 now, and you get it to within 2. That's your best play. That's what you come up with. You're going to run 20 yards this way and then pitch it to a guy and then run 20 yards this way to get 2 or 3 yards? Or you're going to run 45 yards to get a 2-point conversion? That's the best you can come up with? You got to read the room. Shedeur and Fannin were cooking. Start there. How many times do you see like Stafford with Nakua or Stafford with Kupp back in the day, or Mahomes with Tyreek Hill or whoever? Look at Devontae in Stafford. Look at Devontae and Rodgers. They would just become unstoppable. Kelsey and Mahomes, like pew, pew, pew. He's getting the ball, but they can't stop it. That's where Shedeur and Fannin were yesterday. Why not go there? Go with the hot hand. No. Kevin goes, well, we practiced this all week, and so that's what we're going to do. You see it in the play calls, the start of the second half. I'm watching the start of that second half, and I'm going, why are we not throwing the ball on first and second down? Because everybody knew we were running the ball on second down. We throw the ball on first down, pick up 6, 7, 8 yards, and then we run. Everybody knew it. We lose a yard, lost a yard. Now you're 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. And everybody knows you're throwing. There's no imagination. There's no feel for the game. There's none of that. None of that happens with Kevin Stefanski. And it never has. It never has. And he's always preaching, we trust our guys. We trust our guys. Well, why would you not trust Shedeur in that situation? You talk out of both sides of your mouth when you do that. If you trust your guys, you trust your guys. But obviously you don't trust your guys. And the other thing you have to trust is your gut. And you don't get any of that. How about this? Let's talk about the special teams and how bad they are. I'll use Lance Riesland. I'll ask him about some things every once. He's the Gridiron IQ guy, breaks down the film for the Cleveland.com. I listen to his pod. I mean, he's a friend. We do games together. So I listen to Lance's. On Thursday, he told us that the Titans were going to block a punt. Just by looking at the way the Browns would what they do on punt return, just looking at the film, he said, go back and find it. Lance Riesland said the Titans are going to block a punt. And guess what they did? They blocked a punt. Now, I love Lance. Don't get me wrong. He's a great high school football coach. He's really good at his job. But he doesn't sit in the building and get paid by the NFL team. He's not in that building 100 hours, 1,000 hours a week, whatever they are in there, But he told you it was coming. I'm the guy that told you that you weren't going to be able to run the ball on him. I'm the guy that told you that Shedeur was going to throw all over the yard on him. But instead, we're still trying to run into a brick wall. We're not going up tempo in the second half. But when we finally did, guess what happened? It's just, that's what is so frustrating when you got people who just watch football and understand football, screaming at the TV, telling the TV what they should be doing, and they don't do it when it's so obvious and it's coming. And then these guys hold on to their jobs. It just doesn't make any sense. And you got Kevin Stefanski still with his hands all over these play calls. Like we said, I've been telling you that. He said it as fast as he said, oh, Tommy's going to call the plays. Then they said, okay, well, what happens when you get into like a 3rd and 1? Or I'm going to be the. He said it. He has had his hands all over these play calls ever since he turned the play calls over to Tommy Rees. So that's why the jury for me is still out on Tommy Rees. I would love to see this offense with Stefanski out of the way and the whole, well, we practiced that, so we got to do it. That's what we got to do. We practiced it, so we have to do it. It makes absolutely no sense. The way this team is coached is beyond explanation. It really is. And what's even more inexplicable is how him and Ventrone are still employed. It makes absolutely no flipping sense. And you got to read the room. And you know what? A lot of times, it was like this show. It's like, I was like, what am I going to wear? What's the fit change going to be? What the fit change? And honestly, my first thing was, this is when I went at 11,000, this is what I wanted to wear. I was going to wear this. I was going to wear this helmet. I don't know if I could wear it with my glasses, but I was going to come out of the gate with this helmet on and celebrate and whoop it up and, do this whole thing. But here's the thing. Everybody's so mad. Take a look at this. Wow. Like the old days. Look at that. But I wanted to come out like this, like a knucklehead, and celebrate, right? But the show doesn't have that feel. Why? Because everybody's up in arms about what happened at the end of that game. And so I'll save the helmet for another time. I'll maybe 12,000 is the 12 jersey. Maybe 13,000. We'll bring the helmet back when, like if it's on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. But today, we got to melt down because everybody's still melting down about what happened. And so you got to read the room, and you've got to, if you trust your players, trust your players. And it was a perfect opportunity for him to prove it, and he didn't do it yesterday. The good news is the quarterback search in Cleveland is over. That is the greatest news. Like, I cannot believe we're finally saying it, that the search is over. And so Shedeur here, just look at these stats. I mean, this is in 3.5 games. Look at what he has done. I mean, yesterday, let's remind you, 23 of 42, 364, 3 touchdowns. He had the 7-yard run. That run, he put everything he had into that run to score that touchdown. First, Browns quarterback with 300 passing yards and 3 TDs and a rush TD in the same game since 1950. The guy is already rewriting the record books. He outplayed Cam Ward, the number one overall draft pick. He destroyed him. And the other thing is, it's not even about the stats. And again, this is the feel, right? This is everybody, I kept telling you, when we went to training camp, and you watch Dillon Gabriel, and you watch Shedeur, this is not even a contest. Dillon Gabriel is not even, this guy, what is he? How did you waste a 3rd-round pick on this guy? When you look at it, Stefanski, he doesn't read the room, Kevin. And then you're watching Shedeur, and I would say even back then, even Flacco, watching the ball fly out of Flacco's hand. How do you not see that? You have to see what's in front of you. You have to read the room. He can't do it. He's a horrible coach. And you can't say enough. Shedeur now, 769 passing yards to go with 51 rushing yards, 6 total touchdowns, 5 passing, 1 running. He got the 3 interceptions, but the interceptions haven't really hurt us. Yesterday it kind of, turned things around a little bit for the Titans, but Shedeur was taking a shot. And I think, and the thing about Shedeur now is you can really see that he learns from play to play. He makes a mistake. He doesn't make the same mistake. And you saw them. Look at the Judy touchdown. Same play that they tried to run last week that he missed him on. And he didn't miss him this week. Did not miss him. Hit him in stride. As soon as he made his break, he found him. That was the same exact play he missed them on last week, and they came right back to it, and they ran it. He nailed it. It's like he said during the week. He says, I want to see it, and I want to hit it. That's what I want to work on, and he did. So that's the other thing. And his footwork keeps improving. His escapability, sliding in. There were a couple times I thought he could have run when he still kept his eyes downfield and made a throw. I'm like, run, just run. And he didn't run. So he has looked every bit the part of a franchise quarterback, and the search is over. It's like that old Survivor song. The search is over. Remember that song from the 80s or whatever it was? Survivors, the group. So I told you I listen to all kinds of music. But here's the rest of the schedule. We got the Bears this week at Chicago. That's going to be a great test for Shedeur. They're coming off that loss to Green Bay. They gave Green Bay everything they can handle on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. They gave them everything they can handle. So, and then you got Buffalo, and Buffalo's Buffalo. You saw what they did with Cincinnati yesterday. They could score points at will. So, and then we got trashy Pittsburgh, and then trashy Cincinnati to end the season. So this will be a good little run for Shedeur to end this season. And here's the thing: is he going to go out and throw for over 300 yards every single? Yeah, we hope, right? But it's probably not going to be that way. Especially go on the road, and who knows what the weather's going to be like in Chicago, and so you have to step back and look at the whole picture of what's going on. And not go for 2 when you can cut the lead to 7. Like, you have to read the whole. Like, every week there's a new thing. Last week I was all over the punt from the 29-yard line, or bring your tight end to run the quarterback sneak, and because that's the other thing he does. He comes out in a press conference and says, oh well, we know the quarterback sneak is the best play to run in that situation. Okay, so why would you bring a tight end in to run? Why would you do tight end sneak if quarterback sneak is the moron? So it's gonna be about taking steps forward, right? And then now you get a couple of wins in there too. Because here's the thing, you cannot blame Shedeur for these losses. These are 100% on the coaches, these losses. Our coaches blow these games. Special teams and Kevin Stefanski and his whole offense, and can't, I said against Vegas we should have been more aggressive. And then we were too conservative the next week. He was nursing a 3-point lead yesterday like it was a 40-point lead, like it was the Rams game against Arizona, like we were up 45-10. That's how he's nursing us to start the second half. We were up 3. In this league, if you're up 3, you better be up 10. And if you're up 10, you better be up 17. At Cincinnati, they raced out to that lead on Buffalo. Like this guy just doesn't know how to coach in the NFL. And that is, we've seen it over and over and over for the last 5 years. If you're new to Cleveland Browns because of Shedeur, this has been going on for 5 years. And here he is. But the Bears are coming up. And the storyline heading into this game, just like last week, Shedeur against Cam. Now you got Shedeur against Caleb Williams, last year's number 1 overall pick. So that's going to be a showdown. There's going to be a storyline everybody's going to be talking about, I should say. Stefanski in the hot seat. I mean, it can't get any hotter than what it is right now. Ventrone can't get any hotter than it is right now, because every week, they are responsible for these losses. Every single week. And we got to see if the defense can bounce back against the Bears' rushing attack. I mean, they got Swift and Mananga, the Rutgers guy, who's having a great year. He had another pretty good game yesterday. But we saw yesterday how badly we are going to miss Malik Collins on that front line. The way they ran the ball on us, you could credit the fact that Malik Collins wasn't there. So it wasn't so much Tennessee as his awesome running game, because they don't. It was our first day without Malik Collins, and you could see it was a factor. And so that's the one thing Jim Schwartz is going to have to work on this week. The storyline heading into this game against the Bears is how are they going to fill the gap left by the Malik Collins injury. And so they're going to have to figure out something. Somebody's going to have to step up so they can keep that running game of the Bears at bay. Now, one thing we never, ever have to worry about keeping at bay the viewer comments because they continue to dominate. I can't thank you guys enough for the way you guys showed up in the comments for the instant reaction show after the game. Crazy. And so there were so many. I just picked a few. I'll try to, get a sense of, where everybody's heads are at. And so here we go. Sterling Photography said, the freaking Wildcat. Yeah, I know. The freaking Wildcat. It's like we're back in 2007 with the Miami Dolphins and what's his name? Ronnie Brown running the Wild. That's because all we do. Like, that's the other thing with Stefanski. It's like, well, it worked once, so we'll just keep doing it every week. No, Kevin. Everybody knows it works once, and that's it. And now everybody's going to say, well, we scored on it like 4 or 5 times. You got to stop with the Wildcat. You can't take your best players off the field to run the Wild. You can't take Shedeur off the field, just like we were taking Judkins off the field earlier. It makes absolutely no sense. Keep your best players on the field when you need to score. John, 3570. Haslam can't be dumb enough not to fire Stefanski at this point. Well, you would think. You would actually think that, John, but I've been thinking that for the better part of about 5 years now. And I've been screaming up and down for it for the last, since week 1. Why can't Jim Schwartz just be the interim for the rest of the year? Let Tommy Reese take care of the offense. See what happens with Shedeur and him, and then we'll figure it out after that Cincinnati game. Where we're going to do. If Schwartzy wants it, then he can have it. The Schwartz can be with us. Mr. Lottie Dottie. Crazy to think about. With the defense we had and a real playoff shot, all this kid needed was a chance. We'll never know how far we could have gone because this organization chooses losing over letting him succeed. And for what? Money? It honestly feels like they preferred watching him fail instead of doing what was best for the team. And I'm going to tell you this. There's a big part of me that feels, and we'll never know, and this is just my opinion, I almost feel like Kevin wanted him to go out there and look bad. Just so he could go, I told you so. I told you so. I tried to tell you. And when all of us who know something about football could see it at training camp, how much better he was than Dillon Gabriel. We could all see it, but this guy can't see that. And he has to take the undersized left-handed quarterback. I feel bad for Dillon Gabriel because he was put in this situation. And now his fiance's on TikTok yelling at everybody. It's like it's turned into, but he never had a chance. This was never going to be a fair fight once Shedeur got the chance to go up against Dillon Gabriel, because we saw it at training camp. I don't understand how the NFL coach who's getting paid millions of dollars a year didn't see that. It just does not. That's the other thing. We'll never know it. You'll never be able to explain it to me. Like whoever said we need to take Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round absolutely has to be fired, without question. Niche speaking. Sorry, Grizz. I know you're hurting, buddy. I am a little bit, but I will tell you, crossing 11,000 subscribers helped. So it's like I said, it's like a victory Monday and a meltdown Monday kind of combined, and so that kind of balances it out a little bit. And so, but I appreciate that, Niche. I know you're hurting. He continues. Change is coming and change is here. You called it. Shedeur is the guy. I just call it like I see it, actual and factual, and I've been telling you this since June, since training camp. Like, you could see it. It was so obvious. I don't know. What do I know? Lance told you they were going to block a punt. And they did, Tennessee. But we have coaches who don't know this. Can you hire Lance and I? Because Lance and I would love to go work for the Browns. We would do that. Special assistants. I don't know. What? You pay me $1 million a year to I could come up with better stuff than what you guys are doing. Taking Shedeur off the field after he just sliced and diced the defense twice in a row. I wouldn't do that. That's what I'm saying. I would not do that. TK 5904. That's why Shedeur needs a good O-line. He plays off script so well. Here's what I'm going to say. This is not even about him going off script. It's about he makes all of his reads. He goes through his progressions. You could see him. You could see him going through. And then when it's not there, now the feet he starts sliding in the pocket, or he'll start rolling and try to get outside to extend the play. Or you see him directing traffic now. I mean, what rookie quarterback does that? That the game is slow enough for him to stand back there and direct traffic. Like that, that's the thing. Like, yeah, can he go off script? Is he good at going off script? Yes, but it's not even about that at this point. It's about all of the things that NFL quarterback is supposed to do, and he is already doing it. And TK, you're gonna get me into my imagine. What if he would have gotten the Gabriel treatment? I have to bring that up at least once a week, because you can't help but think, where would Shedeur be right now if he was the guy that Stefanski poured all of his heart and soul into, starting with OTAs back in after the draft in April? Can you imagine where Shedeur would be right now? He's done all it in 3.5 games. This is how far he's come. Unflippin' real. Michelle Bryant, 35-15. To overcome all that is against him, powers that are stripping him of his first-round status, head coach stunting his growth, 0 reps with the first team for the first 7 months, and he is the most pro-ready quarterback in the history of the NFL. Facts. Hard to argue with that. Impossible to argue with that. I mean, how can you argue with that? Great take, Michelle Bryan. Hilton Skinter, he played a damn good game. Yes, he did, Hilton. He really did. I mean, it was, this is not on him. And it's not. It's on the coaches. And it's on the special teams. That Jets game, those special teams lost that game. You go back and look. Special teams, Cincinnati, and all the wins our coaches gave away. Think about it. This should be a playoff team without a doubt. And if Shedeur was our quarterback can you imagine that? But it's just, I got to stop. Roger Diz, 35-20. Look at it this way, Grizz. Y'all preserved your draft position and got concrete proof that your franchise quarterback is already on the roster. The nightmare is almost over. The future looks bright if you nail the draft again and get some blocking and a wide receiver one. Carnell Tate. We get Carnell Tate in here, get some offensive line help. I agree. The search is over. The search is over, baby. The search for a franchise quarterback is over. We don't need to cross the Mendoza line. That's another baseball term. Don't need to do that. The search is over. It's such a good feeling. It's such a good feeling to know that the search for a quarterback in Cleveland is over. And we will end today with the man above, who says Browns easily have the best rookie class in the NFL, and that is for certain. Harold Fanning Jr., now the all-time leading rookie receiving yards. He surpassed that. Shedeur is rewriting the rookie record book in just 3.5 games for quarterbacks. So Dylan Gabriel rewrote them, but that was the other way. Probably shortest pass, most passes under 5 yards, all that kind of stuff. But Shedeur, man, just killing it. Just absolutely killing it. The search is over. Should I put the helmet back on? It's a process. We'll save it. We'll bring the helmet back, and I promise too, because I got the winter hat. We'll bring the winter hat back too. I went with this baseball hat's the one that's always hanging here on the chair. You probably never see it, but I don't wear it because it's all beat up and it's old. But I like it. I like it a lot, and so my mom got me this hat. So I like to keep it. I like to keep it close by. Reminds me of mom. So, but all right, there we go. This is the weirdest Meltdown Monday of the season, because it was a victory Monday too, because we have surpassed 11,000 subscribers. We changed the fit. I cannot thank you enough. At 12,000, it'll be a 12 jersey. I promise you that when we change the fit. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for joining us. Go Browns! We'll see you next time.